Welcome back, art students. In today's lesson, we will create a special handprint keepsake for our dads for Father's Day this year. Father's Day is a special day in the year we honor and celebrate our fathers. This year's Father's Day is celebrated on June 21st, which happens to be the summer solstice, the longest day in the year. Fun ideas to celebrate your dad are barbecue dinners, going fishing, going on a hike or bike ride, or playing games in the backyard. But most of all, sharing with him how much you love him and appreciate him. Ready to begin? In this lesson you will need tempura or acrylic paint, paper towel, water for rinsing your brush, and instead of a brush we'll be using Q-tips for most of this work, so Q-tips. Paintbrush, Sharpie marker, pencil, scissors, a small piece of scrap paper, and a tiny piece of tape. Okay, let's get started. Find your pencil. Place one hand on your tile piece. Tightly hold your pencil and we're going to trace around our hand. Now my hand is sort of falling off this tile, so I have traced my daughter's hand that's a little smaller than mine, and I'll use hers for the art piece, but watch how I trace my hand. So my hand is going to stay firmly on the tile piece without moving it around or wiggling it, so I can get the nice shape of my hand. I'm going to start at the bottom with my pencil, and I'm going to press down hard all the way around, carefully going around each fingertip. I'm keeping my pencil on the tile, I'm not lifting it up. I'm just going around each finger carefully. Okay, now, so you can see the shape of your hand a little better. Now that I have it traced with pencil and I like the shape, it looks like my hand, I'm going to go over that line with a Sharpie marker so I can see that line a little better. I'm just going to trace along that pencil line. Okay, now my hand's pretty big. For this lesson, I traced my daughter's hand that is smaller than my hand, and we're going to use her hand today. So I'm going to move this to the side, and I'll do that another time. Okay, so we are not painting with our paintbrushes for most of this work today. We'll be using a Q-tip. But before we get started with that, we're going to trace a heart on a piece of paper and cut it out and use it sort of like a sticker right in the center of our hand. To do this is just a scrap piece of paper. I made sort of an ear shape, down, then up and around and down to make a heart. This is tricky. Sometimes we need a little help from an adult with making this heart, but I know you can cut along the line. So once you have your heart shape, you're going to take your scissors and you're going to follow along the line, carefully cut right on that line. And when we open it, we will have a nice heart shape that we'll place right in the middle. So we're going to use a little tape to hold this piece of paper down like a sticker. I'm going to put it right in the center of my handprint. Now I'm going to trace with my pencil around that heart. So I'm going to go as close as I can right along the edge of the paper and trace that heart. So in the end, I'll just peel off the paper and it'll be blank and we can fill that in with nice paint. So let's begin with our painting. Using a Q-tip, and we'll use a new Q-tip for each color we use. So I'm going to start. The colors I chose today are white, orange, pink, bright yellow, and green, but you can use, or turquoise, you can use any colors you like. I found that the white looked kind of nice against the dark background for a handprint, but maybe you'll choose a different color for the inside of your hand. Okay, so starting with my white, going to dab my Q-tip in the paint so the end has white paint on it, and I'm going to take my Q-tip and I'm only going to make dots all around the edge of my handprint. Now I have more paint on this dot, and then as I go down I lose some of the paint. So when my Q-tip is looking a little dry, I know it's time for me to carefully just dip the end, the tip, right in the paint. Now, have you noticed that I'm leaving a little bit of space? We're not doing any smearing or brush strokes. We are just making little dots, little stamps, and we're going to go right along the edge, all around. Leaving space between each dot. It looks nice to see a little bit of the tile coming through our piece of art. I know your dads will just love this special handprint that you will give to him on Father's Day. It'll be fun for you to look back someday and say, oh my goodness, my hand was so small. All the way around. Okay, now I'm going to shade in the rest of my handprint with the same color so you can really see that handprint. Okay, so go back with the color that you're using, and now we're going to just follow the dot line now. I was following the black line, now I'm following the dot line, and sometimes you have to be really careful on getting that dot just close enough to the next dot, but not right on top. So go slow so you can see where you can control where you're putting the dot. And you'll have to find where can you add a little itty bitty dot to fill in those empty spots. If I go in between the dots, I can get a little dot in there. And I can go right over this heart, making some dots near there because it won't get paint underneath because it's covered with paper. And when we peel it off, you'll see it makes a nice little stamp. So make sure you do all of your fingers. Reapplying paint if your paintbrush looks a little dry. My paint on my tile is a little goopy right now, but it will dry just fine. So don't worry about it being a little goopy. As long as you have a nice round dot. I have a little bit of space here, and then we're going to choose a different color. Okay, that looks pretty good. I think I have most of all the little spots filled in. And now I'm going to choose a different color. So I don't need to rinse my brush. I'm just going to put my Q-tip down and choose a clean Q-tip for my next color. So I'm going to just kind of follow this example that I did, and I'm going to choose turquoise. So dipping just the tip. I don't need to really smash it in there because I'm just doing the tip. Too much paint might make some funny drip marks. And we're going to trace right along the outside of our finger. We're going to go inside and up and around. So tracing that line, making the dots all the way around without touching the white dots. And if I run out of space and I'm going to go right off the tile, just try to squeeze it in there or go around. It's a little crowded between the fingers, so maybe you only have space for one line of dots, and then where you can squeeze some more, come up and around, all the way around. But I'm getting these dots very close to the white. They're not away from my hand. I really want to make those dots close and tight to my hand so I can put lots of different colors around my hand. Okay, so looks like a nice line around our hand. Choose a different color, and I think I will go with the bright yellow. Dipping just the tip on my new Q-tip, I'm going to trace around the next color. So I want these dots to be nice and close, not on top. And if it happens, it's okay. Just try your best to get them very close, leaving a little space between each dot. Now I can't go around here, so I'm going to just use my eyes to follow and go as close as I can. And remember, if it gets a little dry, to reapply your brush. Okay, and our next color, I'm going to do an orange. Okay, I'm saving my last color for my heart on the inside. I think using a pink or red for the inside of your hand looks really nice, like a little special Valentine. A little heart to show Dad how much you love him. Okay, so I've used the turquoise, yellow, and orange, turquoise, yellow, and orange, and now I'm going to just repeat that pattern until I run out of space. So I'm going to go back to using my turquoise so I can get my Q-tip that I used already that has turquoise on it and dip it again. I'm going to trace that last color. Whoops, I used the wrong color. I'm going to get a new brush. I'm using turquoise. Pay attention so you don't use the wrong color. Okay, turquoise. Following those dots. Okay, now I will use yellow. Whoops, daisy. Yellow. I'm just going to fill in those empty spots. A little space there, a little space here. Now I think I have space for a little orange. Those empty spots. Okay, that looks really nice. And now our paint is still wet, so you might want to wait a little while for your paint to dry before you do the next part. I'm going to carefully peel off my heart, and you can see the heart shape here. Now, with my, whoops, I did a little smearing there, so it might be a good idea to wait. I'm going to use a paintbrush for painting the inside of my heart, and I'm going to use the color pink. So dipping my paintbrush in the pink, I'm going to carefully trace along the edge, the line that I made with my pencil to make a heart. I'm going to do the outside first, and then I will fill in the center. Okay, so I have quite a bit of paint on my heart right now, and I'm going to just take that paint and I'm going to push it down the center of my heart so it's all filled in. Now this is a dark tile that we're using, so if your tile, when it dries, your paint was not very thick, then maybe you won't see the bright color of the pink or the red that you chose. So you can always go back once it's dried and add a little more paint on top of it. But going very slow to keep that nice heart shape right in the center. There, that looks really nice. When your piece is dry, you can do something like maybe adding little dots around the edge in case you want to put this on a shelf to display it, or it just looks lovely on a table. Up to you. I hope you enjoyed making this special handprint with me today. I know your dads are just going to love seeing your sweet little hand and you holding a heart. Thanks for painting with me today. I hope you have a great Father's Day. See you next time. Bye.